What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Sean.
And we are speaking the language of romance. And Sean, this is the most wonderful time of the year.
Yes.
Where the trailers are flowing and news is coming and we're full of cheer. Why are we full of cheer, Sean?
Because there's stench in the air from someone who doesn't have clean underwear. Because, Richard, it is time for San Diego Comic-Con 2019. So, Richard, you hear, hey, Sunday, it's over. All the halls are closed, but there's one hall that's still open, and that's Hall LOB. And I'm not going to lie, this Comic-Con, little bit slower, not a whole lot. Like you mentioned it right before we jumped into it, kind of a collective sigh after Endgame.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really feel like it was a collective sigh as much as like you know that thing where like you put both your hands on your thighs and you kind of bend over a little bit and you're just kind of like holy shit.
But yeah, like DC movie-wise is kind of quiet, so there's not a lot. But I guess if I had to say like the one thing that really got me excited was the first thing I saw, popped open Friday. I think it popped out Thursday. And I need to ask you, have you seen the first remake, It, that came out 2 years ago?
Not from start to finish, but I've seen like 90% of it.
Well, they dropped a trailer earlier. It's kind of more of a clip of the old lady, you know, the girl goes back, goes
well, that was like
home.
that one came out like a month ago, right?
Yeah, it's been a month and a half. But they just dropped their official San Diego Comic-Con trailer for It Chapter 2. And I always thought that the very first It, when they remade it, was kind of a coming-of-age tale, kind of like a Stand By Me.
Yeah, very much.
Not super scary, you know, had some jump scares, but not like really, really creepy. Just it was more about the kids. It Chapter 2 is a straight up like revenge horror movie. You know, it's Pennywise like, hey kids, hey, I got a specific set of skills. I'm gonna fucking kill you all.
Yeah. It's like Liam Neeson.
Yeah, except eat your head and brains and scares the shit out of you first because he doesn't want poopy in your intestines when he eats you.
I bet Liam Neeson does that.
Probably does. But obviously you probably saw the trailer. It gave me the creeps watching it. You know, the specifically the scene where Bill is running through this glass house kind of thing, this glass maze.
Right? Who doesn't hate a fun house?
Oh God, I
hated them when I was a kid. Like, because you're with your friends. Like, you walk through a fun house and you're a kid. You're more than likely with your friends, and you don't want to be that kid that like runs into a wall and then all your friends laugh at you because you're an idiot.
Or get lost. Because that's what they're meant for. They're meant for you to get lost. And he sees the kid. And like this scene, I feel like is going to fuck some people up when they see it. Because it doesn't look like he lets the kid go.
No, I agree.
Him come up the glass. Bill's freaking out, kicking the glass. And it's just Pennywise licking it. Like after he's probably devoured this kid.
Probably.
I think we're going to get more Pennywise in this, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, I agree.
My complaints for the first one. There was just not quite a bit in there. Skarsgård, the guy that plays Pennywise, is great. I think he's a good actor, so it'd be really cool to see him actually get to play with that character. And just the lines he was talking about is like, I've been waiting 27 years. Like basically, again, it's just a revenge type tale. So I saw that trailer drop. It got me excited. Comes out in a couple months. So that was one of the first things I saw from Comic-Con 2019.
Ooh, see, I feel like this is almost like a draft. I feel like I'm like, oh, what should I pick? Because, you know, I agree that like, I feel like things were I think I said this before we started that like there was definitely quality in the things that came out, but just not a lot of quantity. Like usually you see a lot more. In my opinion, but I mean, the things that we saw, pretty good.
Yeah. I always feel like when it's this time of year, it's more of you trying to get through like everything you see.
Yeah.
And this year felt more like I had to search for what was happening.
No, I agree. I completely agree with. Usually things just kind of like jump in your face. Usually you it's easy. You just kind of open things up and did you see this?
Yeah. And this year, not so much. It was just kind of like I said, I had to really search, and things kind of trickled in throughout the week.
Yeah, agreed. So the one thing that I did see that I really didn't think I would enjoy, but I did a lot, would have to be the upcoming preview for Picard.
Okay. I'm not a big Trekkie. I've watched a couple of the movies.
You know, I'm not a huge Trekkie either. Like I've never watched, you know, I mean, I've watched Next Generation, but not a lot of it. Watched a couple of the Next Generation movies. But I mean, this series, I seems kind of nifty. And the fact that, you know, you see characters not only from Next Generation, but from other series as well are in the show. Like they had Jerry Ryan in the show who played 7 and 9 on Voyager. But the story looked kind of cool. I kind of like how Picard is not. I'm trying to get a beat on what's actually happening. Like, is Picard in Starfleet? Is he just like hanging out with a bunch of dudes on a ship?
Well, it seems like he's retired, and there's something going on. Like it's almost like I don't know, like an undercover agent getting back in the fold because, you know, only I can save the galaxy kind of scenario.
Something like that, yeah.
Like it feels like it's gonna be like a spy thriller.
But I mean, to be fair, like let's consider this, okay? CBS, and this isn't even like a network show. This is CBS All Access. So this is just a straight streaming service. Not only are doing a Star Trek series, which is like, you know, one of their seminal intellectual properties that CBS owns. Not just that, but they managed to pull fucking Sir Patrick Stewart onto a show that's only going to be available on the CBS All Access.
Yeah.
Like the man's been fucking knighted. You know what I mean? Like they're shelling out some cash for this show.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean that X-Men money's running out, and he's got to keep that card, that actor's guild
I know,
card.
right? I know, right? So yeah, so you saw Picard in the preview. You saw Picard. You saw 7 and 9. Apparently, Jonathan Frakes, who played his like first officer on the ship, he's in the show. And then right at the end, you saw Brett Spiner as Data, the android.
So I guess did they put him back together? I don't know how like it ended. Did he like? Because the way it sounded, Picard, I think that his life. I
think all that happened in Nemesis, the movie Nemesis, and I never finished it. I never finished Nemesis, so I'm not sure. I'm just going off what the trailer was telling me.
So somehow he puts them together, or it's like a VR kind of thing.
I guess that's my assumption.
They're gonna get together and play Striking Vipers.
I knew it.
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
I want to be the polar bear. Well, I mean, there's a few things on here that aren't too surprising, but I think some of these I'd like to wait on. But one that I didn't know about, but I popped up, was a show on Amazon Prime called Carnival Row. Did you get a chance to watch this?
I did not. I didn't know about this one at all.
So it's cool because it's kind of like it's a make-believe world or make-believe country kind of thing where there's fae. I guess fae is like basically
they're fairies, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a way to say fairies.
Yeah.
So these fae, like there's all these animals and like all these other like mythical creatures kind of thing. Like there's not Pegasus. What's the horse half human thing?
Centaur.
There's centaurs. There's like goat people. It's just
satyrs.
Like all the mythical stuff that you
have you ever read a monster manual, for fuck's sake?
No. Anyway, so it's like they kind of control this world, but then man came, and the men have like guns and like they have technology, and it seems like it takes place in kind of like a 1910, 1920 era when it's all settled.
Okay.
And essentially, like they use all these mythical creatures for labor. Essentially, they're like second class citizens kind of thing.
Yeah.
The fays are more of like prostitutes, and you know, like just they're used more at the whims of the men, and you know, they don't care if they get killed. I mean, really, it's just kind of a tale of like probably, you know, the teens and 20s immigration to any country at this point. Like if you came into this country not, of that nationality, you're a second-class citizen. So that's what they're kind of like, I guess they're probably making a metaphor for, but it looked really cool. Like seeing the Fays, seeing all these other creatures. It seems like it'll be pretty dark. Like I said, you see the Fays up there, like prostituting their wings and their pixie dust out. Seemed pretty interesting to me. It's one I think you should check out. I think you'd probably dig it, but it was Carnival Row. Okay.
That one I will have to check out. One thing that I put you hip to, which I'm surprised this is one that did pop out at me that I did have pop out at me that like, oh, you should see this. But you hadn't heard of it, so I had to catch you up on it. Was Netflix released a teaser for The Witcher?
Yeah, I know they were doing it. It's like I said, it was one that popped up, but this wasn't like at the top of the list. So anytime I did San Diego Comic-Con, the first like 20 articles, obviously, because it was the hippest news, was Marvel. And I saw this one pop in and out.
And we'll
Twitter,
get there. We will get there. I promise. Yeah. There was a lot there, so we gotta save that for the end.
But I was kind of in and out on Witcher. I kept had it mentally I gotta check that one out. But you reminded me before we kicked off, and it seemed pretty cool. I know it's a big video game.
Huge video game. They made 3 of them.
Yeah, they got Superman in it. Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
I've always liked him as Superman. I thought he did a great job. And it just
he's playing. Cool. It's like Henry Cavill's playing a ripped Geralt.
Yeah, he reminds me of a Drizzt kind of character. When I was getting, I don't know if that's what they based it off of.
Witcher. Well, I mean,
he's an elf, right?
No, he's a Witcher.
Is that different?
That's so different. A Witcher is basically a Witcher's a person that hunts evil things, that hunts like werewolves and vampires and demons and such. That's what a Witcher is. And they're usually they're like for hire. Like a town will hire a Witcher to, half of our townspeople have been eaten by a fucking demon, so we need to hire a Witcher, and the Witcher's going to come and kill it. Oh, but the thing with the Witcher is a Witcher is a Witcher somebody. I mean, they have they have swords and weapons and shit like that, but a Witcher is also able to use magic, and so that's why they're used, but they're kind of shunned from society because of their ability to use magic.
Yeah, what's interesting? We were talking about this because I thought it said something about based on books. And you said that you thought the video game came first. It sounds like the books actually came first.
Oh, okay.
So I'm totally invested in this now.
Oh, here we go.
There's a book called The Last Wish, which introduces The Witcher from 1993.
Jesus.
Totally going to read that before this comes out. But I know they were talking about, in there they mentioned elves, and I guess this unnamed, at least in the books, the unnamed continent was settled by elves.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out if the guy that we're following, because you said, Witcher to me sounds more like a...
they might be descendant from, but I'm pretty sure they're not. I've played 2 hours of the first 2 games, and I own the third game because I got a super great deal on it. But I own the third game and I haven't touched it, and not because I'm just not into it or anything like that. Honestly, the reason I haven't touched the game is because the game is so huge that I feel like it's gonna be like Skyrim all over for me.
Oh, I gotcha.
If I start playing Witcher 3, because that game, from what everybody tells me, that game is fucking massive.
Well, I'm really intrigued about, like you said, he's not an elf, he's a Witcher. Witcher to me sounds like it's a job, not a race. But you're saying it's an actual race.
Well, they're
you could have to me it sounds like you could have an orc Witcher, but it doesn't seem like that's the case.
No, that's not really the case.
Kind of pointing to that. There's a book called The Blood of the Elves. Man, Richard, why haven't I read these? You got The Last Wish, God. Sword of Destiny, Blood of Elves, Time of Contempt, Baptism of Fire, The Tower of the Swallow, The Lady of the Lake, and 2013
Sean,
Season of Storms.
Nobody cares about the books.
Everybody
the books came first. I guarantee you that everybody that is hyped about the fucking Witcher on Netflix, every single one, doesn't care that they're doesn't care the books are involved.
Yeah, I'm curious how much the books and the games kind of play together, because it didn't mention the game in the title. Of course, that could be, I don't know, rights stuff too. But
well, I think no, it has to do with rights, because Geralt in the show is I mean, he looks fucking frame by frame, especially the image of him at the end with the dark eye circles. That's fucking frame. It's like they pulled a frame right out of the game and stuck it in.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if they made a video game for Game of Thrones, they wouldn't say based on the TV show. They'd say based on the books, unless it was, because that's how Walking Dead works.
I got
you. If it's based off of the AMC show, it'll say based off the AMC show because that's who's making it. That's who gets the money.
I gotcha.
If it's based off the Skybound stuff, that's actually owned by Robert Kirkman, and AMC doesn't get any cut of that.
Right.
Lawyers.
So yeah. So I've always liked. I like The Witcher. It's just something that I didn't get into because it's so much to get into.
Yeah,
if that makes
it's
sense.
right up your alley, though. Like it seems very fantasy. So I'm excited 100%.
100%. Plus, from what I understand, Witcher 3, you get to bone some ladies.
It looks like some sexual tension going on. Like that one chick opened her mouth as fire was shooting out behind her.
Oh, Jennifer? Yeah, I think that's the one that you bang in the game.
Was that the one where you had to like do certain moves to knock stuff off the shelf?
No, that's God of War.
Perverts us.
All of us. Well, that's all of us.
I mentioned Walking Dead a little bit, so we get Walking Dead season 10 trailer, and also we get a little teaser trailer for the Walking Dead movie. Nothing really at all, except the fact that we see a helicopter and the symbol that's been going back and forth between this and Fear the Walking Dead. I pretty much hate watch Walking Dead. I don't really enjoy it much.
Like I said, I stopped at 4. So
yeah.
Like, I did watch it.
Season or two.
I was gonna say I did watch it, but I wasn't invested in anybody in the show. Like, it was just kind of like, okay, like they're trying to survive, and who zombies?
Yeah, I watched. I mean, spoiler alert. I mean, but there was an episode last season where you thought Rick Grimes was gonna die, but he didn't die. Which pissed me off because I felt like they didn't have the guts to do it.
Yeah.
Instead, what they're doing is they're putting him in like 3 movies.
Oh,
of course, I'll go see him. But the chick that plays Michonne, who's in Black Panther, she's one of the guards.
Yeah.
This is going to be her last season.
So basically, this is you have an abuse. So Walking Dead is your abusive girlfriend.
It really is. I just keep going back to it. But it's at a time of year there's not really much on, so that's kind of one excuse. Mm-hmm. The other thing that kind of kept me coming back to it too was I've been heavy into the comics, but the comic just ended last month, like done.
Right? Yeah.
And that was on
which was ballsy, and I love that. I love that.
It was.
I love that. Like he had the. I love that Kirkman had the balls to be like, you know what, like. Let's end this. Like, let's be done. No more.
And
there's plenty.
They put out like 4 or 5 future cover art because I guess when you solicit it, you do that. And apparently, obviously those weren't actual solicitations. They're not out there. They were just to even fool everybody.
Right.
That actually issue almost made me tear up a little bit. That last one. Like father-son kind of relationship stuff. Like it really tugged at the heartstrings.
Nice.
But nothing really stood out in this trailer. Negan, I think, is probably somebody they need to lean on because I'm not a big Daryl fan. I just don't think he's got the great acting chops. So I feel like it's always a stretch with him.
I've always liked Norman Reedus. But I'm a big Boondock Saints fan, so
rewatch it. He does not talk that much, and his accent's horrible. I went back and rewatched it after being like, "Oh, that's the guy from Walking Dead." Oh, I remember loving that. And the Sean guy is the one who does most of the Irish accent.
Yeah,
and his is awful. But there's nothing really key in it. They're fighting those whisperers still. Negan's kind of pushing to get out. So I'll watch a little bit of it, but it's definitely one. If it doesn't pique my interest, I'll probably start getting episodes queued up. I hear Fear the Walking Dead's really good. I didn't watch the trailer that they released for this one at Comic-Con, but everybody tells me it gets really good from season 3 on. So I might have to give that one a shot.
Okay. The other, so I feel like, because you sent me a list of like, okay, here's the stuff I've seen. So I felt like I needed to keep you up on the stuff that I hadn't seen. And so I said the 3 W's. One was Witcher. The other one, one of the other 3 is Watchmen. So you got a full length preview of the upcoming series for Watchmen, which is going to be on HBO. So the gist that I've gotten from that is this show is set in present day. So we're a full, 20 years from the movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it happened like the 80s. So it'd be like 2008, something like that.
Yeah. Apparently there's now like this Rorschach cult, because obviously he's not around. And there's from what it looked like Dr. Manhattan's still around, but he's on Mars. Or is he, Sean?
I don't know.
Or is he?
Looked like a big blue penis right there on the screen.
There wasn't a big blue penis on the screen. There was no blue penis.
You thought it was his hand. It was really his penis.
It was his hand. Penises don't grip things. They don't, right? I haven't seen that many. They don't. Does yours do
that?
Might
be using your penis wrong.
Does yours do that? Have I been using mine wrong?
It can get you hooked into something for life.
I have to read. I have to go read things now.
But like that movie was. I like that they're tying it to the movie, because whenever they announced it, I thought it was either going to be like a remake or kind of just like in the West,
or that they were like, or it was going to be in like movie adjacent.
Yeah. So I like that they're tagging into it, because it's been like 10 years since that movie came out, right? Because that came out like 08.
Yeah, that sounds
years.
right. Shit.
Yeah, it's been a minute. And I remember watching that movie. I always love talking about this, because when I went to that movie, I wasn't expecting to get an eye full of big blue penis. You know, like that movie, like the first like hour and a half, you're like, okay, like this is a long movie. It's like, oh God, that dude's really banging that chick really hard. Oh God, there's a big blue penis.
I thought the movie was I thought, as far as an adaptation of the book, I thought it was really good. I did feel, and I said this when it came out, that I did have an issue with the movie. And the issue I had with the movie is that when that book came out, when Watchmen released, there weren't really a whole lot of anti-hero stories. I mean, you kind of had the Punisher, I would say, was probably the closest you had. But I mean, I don't really recall. Now, keep in mind, like, this is my nascent noob comic book collecting years, but there wasn't really a lot of like really dark stories in terms of where you found out the heroes were just superheroes. You know, hey, they're just people, and sometimes they fuck up, and sometimes they do terrible things, and having superpowers doesn't, grant you, with the moral high ground all the time. And so, like, I think that really resonated at the time it came out, because it was such a kind of like turn of, turning things on its side.
When
like, hey, but then the movie came out, and I think people are like, yeah, we've seen this. Like, heroes aren't perfect. Like, this is old hat now. And so I feel like the emotional and the thematic impact of the story wasn't as potent as it was when the book originally came out.
So I know when I went to see it, I always felt like it was a period piece, because it took place in like the Cold War, the 80s, and I was born in 86, so I didn't get that feel. Like, I didn't quite could relate to it. But the actual book itself wasn't the same premise, right? Like, it was something else they were trying to battle against.
Oh fuck, I don't remember.
Last time I heard somebody.
Last time I read the book, I was like 14. No, 13.
Yeah, I thought it was something different, but I get what you're saying. Like it, it just kind of I couldn't relate to it as much. But this one, like it's taking place more in modern times. It seems like it's dealing a lot with kind of the because it seems like the big gist in this is the police are hiding their faces too, so they're becoming vigilantes.
Well, and this Rorschach cult is attacking the police, and so there's this like I don't know. But they're definitely tying it to the Watchmen in terms of like because the ship's in the fucking in the preview. The ship's in there. I think the owl's in there too.
Yeah, it looked like it. But it definitely piqued my like I said, the first time I saw it, it's kind of like, oh, this looks like it could suck.
Yeah.
But this trailer kind of gave me a little bit more of the premise, and they need a Game of Thrones, pick me up. And hopefully this one can do it for him.
Hopefully. I mean, I'll watch it. Like I said, I wasn't huge on the movie, but I'll watch the show. I'm down.
So you said, speaking of HBO, there was another W that you had mentioned.
I did. Oh, you want me to tell you?
It's
okay. So the third W, of course, was season 3 of Westworld. So you had Witcher, Watchmen, and Westworld.
Now, Westworld season 1 kind of like caught everybody by surprise.
Yes.
Westworld 2, I only got halfway through it, and I know a lot of people that didn't finish it. So I did finish it. I will say that you kind of need to get through the first half to get to the second half, but once you get over the hump, it's a lot better. Like it ramps up and goes off pretty well. Yeah,
the second half of season 2 was far and away better than the first half.
Yeah, I know when I kicked my HBO subscription back on, I wanted to try and get back into that, but I just didn't have the motivation to. I was like, just
no. I totally get that. Mouth. I didn't finish season 2 of Westworld until like probably a month ago. Like I did what you did. I got like, 4 or 5 in or 3 or 4 in. And I was like, I'll watch this later. And then it wasn't until like last month when there was nothing left. And I'm like, oh, okay, we'll do this.
But so like how invested are you in this season 3? I mean, you're going to World War II, it looks like. That'd be kind of cool.
I know, right? We're gonna kill Nazis. Which I feel like feels marginally better than shooting like the rancher's daughter.
Yeah, that's what the PC like. They're like, oh God, we can't go out there. We're raping all these farmers' daughters and killing these Indians. Like, let's get something. Like, what can we kill? Nazis.
Yep, well, yeah. Why can't? Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's universally like it's universally okay to hate Nazis, right?
It's accepted to be able to do that. Like it's like
we can totally do that.
That's why all the Call of Duties all the good Call of Duties take place in World War II.
Exactly.
It's a safe bet.
I am 100%. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm glad that we can societally that it's part of the social contract that we hate Nazis. I'm glad that's there. I'm glad that exists. We can all get behind hating Nazis, right? Yay!
One movie that I'm not a big fan of the original. I don't even know if I've seen the whole original from beginning to end, but it definitely had some cool cinematic stuff in it. I'm not a big fan of the guy who's starring in it, but the Top Gun Maverick trailer came out.
So of all the things that came out of Comic-Con, I feel like this was the one that kind of tapped the mainstream a lot more.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I completely agree.
I feel like this, like your mom's going to tell you, oh, did you see that there's making another Top Gun, Pookie Bear?
Yeah.
So like you, Tom Cruise is fucking weird, right? Like
he's pretty weird.
We can hate Nazis together and we can all agree that Tom Cruise is a little fucking weird, right?
Yeah. He literally was jumping on a couch on Oprah. So
that being said, it's always like, oh, Tom Cruise has a new movie out and you're kind of like, So when somebody was like, hey, fucking they're making another Top Gun, I'm like, Well, yeah, but Tom Cruise is in it, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So I watched it. I watched this little, what is it, like 2.5 minutes?
Yeah, about that.
I liked it. And I hated myself that I liked it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of movies that Tom Cruise is in that surprises me, that you actually aren't expecting to be good, but are. But it's definitely one of those things, like, you kind of have to go in and, like, ignore the whole
You have to ignore the Tom Cruise is in the movie.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so I will say this, okay? So I loved the first movie. I loved Top Gun. But I didn't like Maverick and Top Gun. I liked everything that was happening around him. I loved all the characters that were around him. Didn't really like him. But I don't know who else you would put in that movie.
Yeah. Well, and I know I always remember hearing when they're talking about this a few years back that it was going to be like Goose's kid. And I think that's who the Phoenix call sign character is I think that's actually maybe his daughter.
Yeah.
Which would be a cool touch.
Sure.
I do like the idea that, like, they're looking at this as Tom Cruise as kind of a dinosaur. Like, they don't really use the Air Force and military the same way that they did back when
Navy,
the first one was,
not Air Force.
The Navy. So that's kind of interesting to me.
Well, not just that, but he's a dinosaur, but like they kind of do that in the first like 30 seconds. They're like, it's like, oh, you should be a 2-star admiral by now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, look at all the amazing shit you've done. And here you are still in the same doing the same goddamn job. Like, not only are you a dinosaur, you're a stupid dinosaur.
Well, you've been doing all these years. Well, one, I killed a mummy. What
been doing? Yeah, I killed a mummy. I joined the Impossible Mission. Yeah, I joined the Impossible Mission Force. I did some other stuff that I can't think of because I've kind of blocked Tom Cruise's IMDb history in my head.
I went through this place where every time I died, I had to restart.
Okay, so one thing, and then we can move on from Top Gun. But one thing is, where the fuck was Iceman? He's in the movie. He's in the movie.
Is he credited in there? Have you looked?
He's cast in the movie.
Yeah.
He's in there somewhere. Where the fuck was Iceman?
He's probably at the buffet.
Don't do that. That's rude.
He's got a little
Don't be mean to him.
He's not spiking any volleyballs, if you get what I'm saying.
He's had health problems.
He has had health problems.
And here you are, fucking kicking Iceman when he's down. You're a bastard.
I'm curious what that part's gonna play. He'll probably be like an admiral or something like that. Like, he'll surpass him in the rankings.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So, like I said, will I watch it in a theater? Probably not. Will I watch it? Yeah, I'll watch it. I will. I'm not gonna hide that. I will definitely watch this movie. I probably won't watch it in a theater, but
yeah, if there's nothing going on and I haven't been in a movie in like 2 or 3 weeks, I may go see it. But it feels to me like it'd be a good rental.
And I mean, they're saying 2020, so
yeah, it's about a year out. I think it's supposed to be summer 2020.
Yeah,
which 2020, honestly, like, I was expecting a lot more from this. 2020 seems like it's gonna be a light year,
a little bit. Like I said, everybody's like, fuck, we just made like 80 goddamn movies.
Yeah,
we had fucking Avengers in there, and there's Batman was in there somewhere, and fucking
and Endgame just officially surpassed Avatar.
That was Marvel kicked off their panel with that. Are we moving on to Marvel? I feel like there's one more big thing we gotta hit.
You were just mentioning surpassing and stuff, so that just came up. But yeah, there's one more big thing I think to talk about.
Yeah. You have the floor, sir.
Yeah, so we get, and that surprised me. I didn't think we were going to get this till probably Sunday, but we got the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yay! Trailer. I was so excited. This was I think this was the first Comic-Con thing I saw.
Yeah, I saw the It one, sent it to you, and then you sent me this one right away, and it looks like it's got all the nostalgia feels for it. Like, it's got all
so
the
happy.
And what I love too is it like the trailer ends, and usually a lot of times I'll kind of be like, okay, like I don't want to watch the rest of it because usually it's just the YouTube channel's ads.
Yeah.
But I sat for a little bit longer, and they're actually doing a reboot roadshow.
Yeah.
So like what he did with Red State, he took it out on the road, and I didn't go, which I should have. Bought my tickets to the one pretty close to me, so I'm going to go check that out. What's crazy, so there's a one-on-one VIP package kind of thing. $750.
Oof.
Plus $125 convenience fee.
Oof.
Yeah. There's a $200 like photo op one, which is still
fucking
pricey.
Ticketmaster can suck a dick.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys. For realsies.
But yeah, I'm super pumped for that. It looked like I was a little nervous that it was going to be I don't know, like I just didn't know. I just didn't quite know what it was going to be, but
what were you like? I was going to say, what were you afraid of? Because from what I understood, it's pretty much the exact same plot as Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which it is. Am I fine with that? Yeah, but I think this time you not only get this, star-studded cast, because in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, like, I mean, oh my God, like, who all did you see in that movie? You saw
just about everybody, yeah.
George Carlin, fucking Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Chris Rock.
Which I think a lot of them are going to be in it.
So
and the one surprising thing out of that too was the Ben Affleck spot.
Yeah.
Which did you read the story on that?
I didn't.
So I know, like, I don't think they've been rocky relationship. They just haven't really been conversing with each other.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a shitty relationship. They just haven't talked.
Yeah, and apparently Kevin didn't have that scene written, and I think they were on the shoot and some interview thing with Ben. Like the guy's like, "So, are you going to be in Reboot?" And Ben Affleck's like, "No, I haven't been asked." And so Kevin Smith's assistant's like, "You need to reach out to him. You need to reach out to him." And so he wrote him this like really like poignant email. Had a quote from Conan in it. Sent it to him, and like a day or two later, Ben replied back, "It's like, oh, of course." It's something about it basically kind of made him feel like he was a god. And it was like, "Of course, all these years you'd still see yourself as a god." He's like, "I'm in. Tell me when." And so he wrote that scene, I think, while they were shooting or just before they started shooting, and got him in there for that little bit.
Oh, that's nice.
And
so yeah, so in this one you saw, what didn't I catch?
Yeah. So Bucky, what he has is it's Blunt Man Beyond. That's the comic like he's working on in the movie.
Nice. So in this trailer you get who did I see in there? I saw Joe Manganiello. I saw Method Man, which I did like the bit with him in there.
Yeah, was it Redman and Method Man? Is that the two guys?
I think so. I think I couldn't tell, but I totally recognized Method Man. We're gonna talk about being
Justin
a father,
Long
flinging cum all over. Justin Long was in there. Chris Hemsworth was in there.
Yeah.
But so not only that, but then you got to see all the characters from all the other movies. I saw Rosario Dawson. Justice from. Who I can't think of her name right now.
Shannon Doherty? Shannon
Elizabeth. Shannon Elizabeth. You're right.
You've got Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Reprising his role as an angel, it looks like.
Yep. Which I'm curious how that's going to go, because I felt like that was a total it's
all in the universe, so I mean, it would work.
It is. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Because that's kind of the way he sold this. Is like, this is a big like Kevin Smith ode to movie that he wrote for himself.
Which I'm totally behind, 100%.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It comes out like in October, so my theater I think is going to be doing a double feature where it'll show Strike Back and then this movie. So me and my mother-in-law, who I've taken to a Kevin Smith Q&A, are going to go to that, and then I got my Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes Reboot Roadshow that I'll go see.
Perfect.
So, pretty excited for that. Well, let me hit up. There's a couple news stories I think that'll be interesting. We don't really need to touch on before we jump into Marvel, but
okay. Okay.
They announced that Halloween is going to have 2 more movies. So they did the new Halloween, which took place after the first one. They're going to do a second one called Halloween Kills, and then a third called Halloween Ends.
Okay. That I didn't know.
They just basically announced it, I guess, or they didn't really have too many details, but I thought that was cool. The movie Shooting Clerks, which is basically a Kevin Smith biodoc, premiered at San Diego Comic-Con. So hopefully that'll come into a VOD at some point. And then the only real comic news, I know there was some X-Men stuff that I didn't look into too much, but Robert Kirkman had mentioned that a Negan spinoff is possible. So he may explore continuing the Walking Dead universe, but with a Negan.
Okay. Okay, before we jump into Marvel, what should I I'm gonna quick hit with apparently we're getting a DC animated movie called which is based off of the Red Sun storyline, which I haven't read, but I love the concept of. So for people that don't know what Red Sun was it was basically kind of like a Imagine If story where instead of Superman's little baby pod leaving Krypton, instead of his little baby pod leaving Krypton and landing smack in the middle of Kansas, it lands in Soviet Russia. And so Superman grows up in the USSR and becomes like the paragon of communism. And like, it's just like, and the only thing that happened was the ship lands and like the whole world changes and the ship lands in a different place. That's the only thing that changes. I love it.
I forgot. I didn't realize that was what the Red Sun was, but yeah, that I've heard, like I've seen a little bits and pieces of that before. And that's always a super, like I love like the what if kind of stuff. Like that's
exactly. And that, you know what, that's something we're going to get into here in a bit, but so there was that. I feel like I should do DC quick hit before we jump into Marvel. They did put out, stuff for the CW shows. So I mean, if you want to look at Supergirl or Flash or Arrow, you got those you can go hop on those and look at those. I feel like there was they did have a full length featurette for the Harley Quinn animated series.
Oh, nice.
So if you want to look at that, I'm kind of on the fence on it. I like the casting because you had Kaley Cuoco as Harley and Alan Tudyk as your Joker. So we'll see how that goes.
That's the guy that in Dollhouse, he had a scene. He was playing like the bad guy in that. There's a scene on the roof that he looked and played like I thought a great Joker. So I'm actually kind of excited for that. That'd be interesting.
Nice. Did I have anything else major? I think that might have been it. I mean, like I said, I'm not really huge on the CW shows, so I can't really. They did have a little bit of Rick and Morty. If anybody wants to go look at Rick and Morty, nothing crazy. So, but yeah, that's where I'll end it. And now we're down to the meat. So DC did not have a panel at all this year. I mean, they made these little announcements and they had the CW shows, but DC themselves did not have a like, hey, look at the shit we're coming out with, because, we're not seeing Wonder Woman till,
it's
summer.
Year, is it 2020?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's not till like July of 2020.
Yeah, but I mean, like Batman v Superman, we saw like stuff for that like 2 years before even they started shooting.
So yeah, but DC had I feel like Marvel and DC are like doing this like alternating thing because Marvel didn't show up at all last year. Marvel didn't have really anything. Busy. Yeah, Marvel didn't have anything last year, and so DC was like, well, look at the shit we're doing. We're making stuff. And you're gonna love it. Look at Aquaman, and so that was DC, and then so this year DC's not around, and then Marvel's like, look at our huge fucking dick, because they whipped out some Phase 4 dick, Sean.
Well, yeah, it's not really that they're like whipping it out. They're just like, hey, check under these pants. There's a big dick
no
here.
shit.
Like, is there?
No
like, oh,
shit.
Yeah. How big is it? It's like
number 1
movies.
highest grossing movie in the history of time. Fucking big dick.
So how do you want to go? You want to start just from the top and work our way down? Because I got a pretty good article that kind of has a big headline for each.
Okay. So yeah, let's go chronologically in terms of like how they're getting released.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
first off is
Black Widow. Comes out May 1st, 2020. And the headline here just basically says Black Widow will revisit Budapest and introduce Taskmaster.
Yeah.
And this is all supposed to be a prequel as well.
Right. Yeah, well, from what I understand, this all takes place between Civil War and Infinity War, is the way I understood it. I'm not 100% on that, so but that's the way I grasped it.
Gotcha. Yeah, they said that they showed basically a teaser of the first 30 days of shooting. This article doesn't really say. So this takes place, before the events of Infinity War. So between Civil War and Infinity War, somewhere in there. David Harbour is in this. I'm pretty excited about that. I
like David Harbour.
Yeah. He played Hellboy, which actually wasn't a terrible movie.
Yeah, I need to see that.
I'm kind of curious. Like this is the first movie they're coming out of with Phase 4, so I'm not really sure.
So let's so by the time Black Widow comes out, it will be a full year with nothing. So the last a little less than a year. So the last movie we got was Spider-Man, and then which I don't know if anybody's seen it, but fucking go see that movie because it's great.
But it didn't really set up Phase 4 or anything. It just kind of, it wasn't even really an ending to the Phase 3 to me. It was just kind of a movie there. Like, how is this Black Widow going to kick off a Phase 4? Like, what do they have planned for it?
Yeah, I don't know. Especially when you're setting Black Widow timeline-wise in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, is it going to tie to anything that happened post-Endgame? Or is it just, hey, here's our movie? And then the ending is us, spoiler alert, looking at her grave.
Ouch.
Let's see. So the next one.
Yeah, the next thing you have is, and this is fall of 2020, not a movie, but this is going to be a show on Disney's new streaming service, Disney Plus. And that is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Which I'm excited about. Like I like that the Falcon's basically he's going to have the shield.
Yeah.
The Winter Soldier, I dug his character. But what they've announced for their Disney Plus really is like, okay, well, here goes some more money.
Yeah, now I got to fucking buy this. Great. Fan-fucking-tastic.
And I think that one you have to buy it a year at a time too. So it's not like no month-to-month stuff.
Nope.
You got to drop down like the $110 for the year.
Son of a bitch.
But did they really talk much about? I know, like this piece here just says that they're going to bring in the villain. I guess it's a classic villain, Baron Zemo.
I loved Baron Zemo. Digression, but when I was a kid, they used to have this Marvel superhero role-playing game, and in the role-playing game, you got to design a costume for your hero. And so the costume that I designed, I based off of Baron Zemo's costume. And because I was like 12 and I was horrible at art. So I just kind of traced it. But I did that and then changed the color scheme a little bit. And I looked badass.
Nice.
Baron Zemo was a huge villain for Captain America. Huge Cap villain. I would say it was, and if we're gonna rank them, I would say it was probably Red Skull's at the top. Second, I would say a second would be Baron Zemo, but Crossbones is kind of up there too. But so yeah, Baron Zemo, which I'm super pumped to see. You show me Baron Zemo on screen with that fucking with that purple outfit with the fur on it. Fuck yeah, I'm down.
All in on it.
Give me that.
Well, and the next thing that we get out of this is a movie. Again, it's going to come out November 6th of 2020, and it's The Eternals. And
The Eternals.
I don't think they really talked much about this except that you got Angelina Jolie in it.
Angelina Jolie's in it. So the Eternals were like the way Feige described it at the panel was they're a group of people that have been living on Earth for the last like 35,000 years or some nonsense. And from what I remember from the comics, the Eternals were basically like the gods of the Marvel universe. Like when Thanos got the Infinity Gauntlet, the Eternals showed up and tried to kill him, but that didn't work because, he had the Infinity Gauntlet. But the Eternals was like this collective group of like ultra powerful beings. Galactus, I think, was one of the Eternals.
So how do you feel about this movie, though? I mean, you got Selma Hayek in it, Angelina Jolie. I think this is the one that, you're going to have your first deaf superhero in this one as well.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? I mean,
okay, so to me, the Eternals, I feel like we're kind of going in. They're saying they're people that have been living on Earth, but I don't know if that means, are we going to space? Because that's the way I always understood the Eternals thing worked. But I don't know. It's been a while since I've dipped my toe in comic land. So
yeah, I feel like if Black Widow stumbles and then Eternals isn't what obviously you got to put credit with them. I mean, they've done nothing but great work.
Yeah, I mean, we talked shit about the movie with the trash panda in it, and we were very, very, very wrong. So and I feel like at this point, like they have my good faith. Like they haven't,
You really have to hold judgment till you see some trailers too and see what they're planning out.
Agreed.
So there's another one coming out that's a little bit unknown to me, but it does tie into the MCU. So February 12th of 2021, the Shang-Chi, what's the movie called? It's
Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings. Here's the interesting bit about this one, Sean, is we're going to get the reintroduction or the real introduction of the Mandarin.
Yeah. Are they going to cast the guy who played the Mandarin in the Iron Man 3?
No, that was fucking Sir Ben Kingsley.
Yeah. Well, because they had a short where he was in jail and people came and like took him out of jail.
Oh.
Like he somehow was involved.
I mean, maybe he's in it. Maybe he's not. But the Mandarin was a big villain. Mandarin was a huge villain for Iron Man. So, I mean, by doing Shang-Chi and putting the Mandarin in there, I think that's kind of cool. So the Mandarin, he was this like, he wasn't really like a wizard, but he was a guy that had these 10 rings. He had a ring on each hand, and each ring had its own power. Like one ring shot fire, and one ring shot ice, and one ring did like magnetism or something, like he had 10. Basically, he was like somebody that had 10 different superpowers, but he looked like Lo Pan from fucking Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the big long beard with like that long mustache, Well,
I know that's one of the things, like Iron Man 3, I was really excited for. Went and saw it opening night. And when they did the reveal of the Mandarin wasn't the Mandarin, like I was
Mandarin.
super pissed. It was dumb.
Yeah. I agree. I was kind of upset at that too, because the Mandarin was like this cool, was kind of in my head, he was kind of a cool villain. I'm like, I want to see what they do with these fucking rings. Like, how are you going to explain these rings? Like, is it magic? Is it fucking technology? Like, what the hell does it? How's that going to work?
You're like, don't worry. It doesn't. Well, we got another Disney Plus series. It's WandaVision. WandaVision. I thought I saw WakandaVision somewhere.
No, it's WandaVision because it's Scarlet Witch and the Vision. So WandaVision.
Where did I see it? I thought somewhere it takes place in Wakanda. Maybe that's what threw me off.
Well, maybe they're there. I don't know. So obviously this is going to take place. I mean, spoiler. Obviously, this is going to take place before Infinity War.
You'd think.
I mean, it's going to have to. Because, I mean, spoiler, Vision doesn't make it.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to start in spring of 2021, so a lot can happen between then and now, I guess. That's the one I'm not really too excited about either.
I mean, see, that's the thing is you saw we apparently during the panel, I guess they showed some footage for Black Widow, but other than that, it was just, hey, we're doing this and this is who's going to be in it. And that's it. Like, that's all you got.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I totally understand. Like, it's fucking 2019 and they're talking about 2021. Like, obviously, there isn't really going to be much to show on anything.
Yeah. Well, at least with this, I mean, they had this stuff planned out like, 4 or 5 years ago where they were showing, like, here's what's going to happen in 2021 and 2022, and all that stuff got scrapped. So at least with this, we know this is at least what's most likely going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the next movie that they have it's planned for May 7th of 2021. I loved the first one. I'm excited for this one.
Me too. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So this I'm super excited for a few reasons. Number one, it's another Doctor Strange movie, which I'm super hyped about. Number two, Baron Mordo, like being a bad guy, which I'm super stoked about because Sean, he was the guy who's Baron Mordo. He was the bad guy in fucking Firefly, and he was a great bad guy. He was a great fucking bad guy, and now we get to see him as a bad guy wizard.
Well, and this is supposed to be like the first scary Marvel movie too. Like, it's gonna be.
That's
like
the other thing I heard is this is gonna be a fucking creepy movie. So that's cool. I'm down for that.
They're exploring the whole multiverse too, which is kind of cool. And one of the quotes from Kevin Feige was, "Just because Quentin Beck makes up lies about the multiverse doesn't mean it isn't real."
Nice.
So that's going to be pretty cool. So that comes out May 7th.
Also, apparently, Wanda is going to be in the movie.
Yeah, that's what it said.
Yeah. So
Scarlet Witch will be in there.
Scarlet Witch will be in there. And so if they're saying she's in there, I'm assuming like it's not just for a couple minutes. If they're making a point to say she's in it,
yeah,
I doubt it's, just like a fucking flyby cameo.
The next TV show that they're going to be putting on the Disney Plus is the Loki TV series. We've heard about this for a while.
Yeah.
But they kind of gave you at least a little bit of what it's going to be about. And this is one that makes more, like WandaVision and stuff like that. It's like, when is this going to take place? But this one is going to take place after his Endgame moment. So when he picks up that stone and disappears, we're going to explore what happened there.
Yes, which yeah. Like, sure, give me more of that.
I like what they were kind of talking about it. And some of them were chanting like Loki, and he was saying to the crowd, he's like, wait, you guys saw Avengers, right? That's still the guy. Like, it's the guy who like just failed at almost ending everything.
Yeah. Yeah. He's still a bad guy. In case anybody forgot, I know you like him and all, but
and that one comes out in spring 2021. The other one that's coming out that'll be kind of cool. I don't really know a ton about what they're going to do with it, but
this is the one I am super excited. I am this. If there was any like the one that made my heart kind of go like, ooh, is this in summer 2021? We're getting a What If series.
Yeah.
Which I fucking loved the What If comic series. So Sean, this is going to be this is a Disney Plus show. So if anybody's keeping track, we're now on our 4th Disney Plus show. So this is going to be an animated show. The whole thing's animated. And it's going to be narrated by, I can't remember the name of him right now.
Jeffrey Wright. It's the guy Wright from Westworld.
Yeah, yeah. So he's playing the voice of, or he's going to be doing the voice of the Watcher. So if you don't know who the Watcher is, he was in Guardians 2. There's a small cameo, the Stan Lee cameo in Guardians 2, where he's standing around, he's talking to this guy with this huge head. Like a big old fat head, and he's wearing like a robe. it's a race, but there's one Watcher in particular, and the Watcher's name is Uatu. And so what the What If series is basically where they explore, like, well, what if this happened instead of this? Like, how would things play out? So it's basically what it's going to do is it's going to, if you're, what if Iron Man didn't build a suit? What if somebody else built a suit instead? What would happen? How would the world look? What if nobody unfroze Captain America? What if he was still trapped under the ice? How would that play out?
And did you look at the cast that's on this? So Michael B. Jordan's going to be in it. Sebastian Stan, who's Bucky, Josh Brolin, Mark Ruffalo, Samuel L. Jackson, Chris Hemsworth. Like, all your key people are in this series.
Yeah, and so basically it's like a way of, the thing that I am super stoked for is that basically it's going to like open up all these possible, like, how would things look if this happened instead? Which is exactly what the comic series did. Was Uatu the Watcher would say, and okay, so the one that really sticks in my brain was during the Infinity Gauntlet saga in the comics, there's a moment where the Silver Surfer like tries to steal the glove off of Thanos' hand. Like, he gets distracted and Silver Surfer does this like flyby to try and grab it, and he just barely misses. And so the comic was like, well, what if he grabbed it? And what if he actually grabbed it? What if he actually got a hold of it? And it went on like, that Silver Surfer put it on and basically like, became like, thought himself this judge of law and order and tried to bring balance to the universe. And like Adam Warlock tried to kill him, and it just like it just went on this like crazy tangent. And so that's what this whole series is going to be. It's just this, well, what if this happened? Like,
yeah,
I love it. I'm super stoked for that. I want to see how that goes, especially when you got this huge cast so you're going to get like them doing voices of their characters.
Is it? Oh, it's anime. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. But yeah, you're going to get, was it like 12 episodes, 10 episodes? So you're going to get like
something like that, yeah.
Scenarios, which would be pretty sweet.
Oh, I love
summer
it.
Of 2021. So that's 2 years away. We got to wait for this one.
Okay. So what I was saying is, what if Peggy Carter was Captain America? What if Killmonger was the royal son of Wakanda from the beginning and not T'Challa? Oh, I love it. I'm stoked for that.
Yeah, and if you're keeping track, now our 5th Disney Plus series, which a lot of people are probably going to be like, why do we want this? But if they base
Sean's going to explain to us why we want this. Don't worry.
If the logo and everything, if you base it off of that and they base it off the comic, it's the Hawkeye series that they're bringing out. And I like it because what they're going to be doing is this is the Hawkeye series where he's training Kate Bishop, was like kind of like his, not really his partner, but kind of like she's taking up the Hawkeye mantle from time to time. So, I mean, if you're already in this and you're watching, what ifs, this would be another good one, I think, to pick up. That comes out fall of 2021. Again, not much except that they're going to be training Kate Bishop, which is kind of cool. I wish that they would have went down the path that his daughter that he was training was actually the Kate Bishop. I thought that'd be kind of cool, but either way, it should be interesting.
I'm guessing this is going to be a post Endgame series.
Yeah, I would assume so.
That's my guess.
We get the Thor movie that was announced then November 5th, 2021. Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
and you and I talked a little bit offline about this. So essentially, they're going to have their female Thor, which I'm fine with. Like that's been something in the comic by Jason Aaron for a while, which is kind of cool. But I guess Natalie Portman is going to pick up the hammer.
Yeah,
and I've always got the gist that she's not really super invested in the Marvel movies.
I've kind of gotten that impression too. So I'm curious to see if she's come around, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Or if there's just been more money in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, what does that say? Is that the end of Thor? Or is it just a new Thor? Like, what's going to happen there?
I feel like it's just new Thor. because like it's so okay. So if we're going time wise, let's assume that the next Guardians movie is going to happen after this Thor movie.
Which would make sense.
And obviously Thor is in this movie, Thor Love and Thunder. So are they going to kill Thor off, or are they, or is it just, hey, here's a new hammer. This is your hammer.
They rebuild it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they do during the panel, they like do this symbolic, like handing her a hammer, but it's the old hammer. So it makes, I mean, maybe we're just reading into it, but
yeah, I mean, this is all very, very like, again, trailers and stuff like that you'd want to see. But the other thing they started kind of teasing, so like right at the end of this, they kind of talked about Phase 5 and beyond. He talks about like, oh, I didn't get a chance to talk about, Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain Marvel 2, Black Panther 2. I didn't get to talk about Mutants, Crowd Erupts. I didn't get to talk about, what was the other one? Fantastic Four, Crowd Erupts. And he's like, but that's all been rumored. And this is something that got me excited when I saw this. It's like, but this is something that hasn't been rumored. And he brought out, what's his name? I'm probably going to butcher it. It's Mahershala Ali.
Yes.
He was Uncle Aaron in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
No, he was also Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
Okay, I haven't seen all of Luke Cage.
Well, it was in season 1. So he was Cottonmouth in season 1 of Luke Cage. I'm trying to think where people would know him from. He was in True Detective, which I haven't seen, but everybody tells me I need to watch season 3 of True Detective, which is the season he is in, apparently.
Okay. Yeah, season 1 was great. Season 2 was bad.
Yeah, I heard season 2 was horrible too. Season 1 was great. Season 2 I heard was horrible, but somebody actually told me, he's like, I liked 3 better than 1, and
nice.
He's in it, and he's really good.
But as he gets out on stage, he flips on a hat, and it's got 5 great letters that spell BLADE, Blade. No Wesley Snipes, but we're getting Blade. The comic book character that saved comic book movies.
He was. He really was. He was, the comic book character that started really the whole thing. It was the first comic book movie where not really so much us, but it was the first comic book movie that, the Hollywood machine was like, hey, like, comic book movies can work.
Yeah, it's kind of like the rated R comic book movie Deadpool we got. It's like, oh, this can actually make money.
Yeah, like, oh, we can actually make money off of this, because without Blade, you don't have X-Men, and without X-Men, you don't have Spider-Man. And then, obviously without those, you don't have Iron Man, and without Iron Man, where would we be, Sean?
I don't know.
We wouldn't even have a show. We wouldn't even have a podcast. We'd just be sitting in our houses hating life, going, I wish they'd make a good comic book movie. Wouldn't that be nice?
But I mean, it's got so much that's going to add to it. I mean, we're going to have vampires, demons, all kinds of baddies in it. I'm guessing is it like the Dark Avengers is their name? Where it's like him and Hellraiser, or not Hellraiser, it's Hellblazer is the comic name, but it's John.
You're thinking of DC.
Oh,
Constantine.
Yeah, Constantine. What's in Blades? What's the Dark
with Blade? Blade was part of the Night Stalkers, so it was Blade, Hannibal King. Hannibal King was a vampire, but he was like a good vampire. So it was Blade, Hannibal King, and I can't remember the third one. They did a lot with Ghost Rider. They hung out with Ghost Rider a lot. So
yeah, but Ghost Rider was the Dark Avengers, right?
Yeah, yes. I will say that prior to the Fox merger, Blade was one of the last properties that Disney scooped up.
Yeah, it was like
once
the company let it relapse or whatever.
Yeah, and so they scooped it back up, Which is I think they picked up Ghost Rider and Blade, and people were like, "Holy shit, are we gonna get another fucking Blade movie? That'd be awesome!" And that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
so everybody forgot about it.
I'll be excited because hopefully with this movie, like I've always thought, like a Blade comic book would be fun too. And I know whenever they don't own the properties, they kind of put that stuff to the side. But hopefully that kicks Blade into its own comic book series.
That'd be nice. I mean, I'm sure you'll get it.
Maybe.
Well, he had one before, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He had one for a bit, but I
was gonna say, like, I remember buying a few issues of it. I think.
Yeah, and I think the oldest one was like maybe like 8 or 10 years ago, and they've hinted at bringing it back, but I don't know. It's just I don't understand why you wouldn't. It seems like it'd be ripe for the picking, but I mean, that's all I really saw for Comic-Con 2019. Richard, did you have any other kind of tidbits you wanted to discuss?
Oh. I think everything I wanted to say, I said. I mean, there was some tertiary stuff, like they had some stuff for the new Dark Crystal on Netflix, which, like, I watched the first one and liked it, but I was like 7, so like I'm kind of on this.
They used real Muppets though.
They did. I'm glad it got made because I feel like younger kids are gonna watch this and be like, that looks amazing. And to be like, that's not CGI. Those are puppets. And then that 7-year-old is going to be like, what?
I heard they tried to do CGI with puppets and it didn't look right. So like, spend the extra money. Let's make some puppets.
Yeah, I love it. That did make me happy. There was something for on HBO called His Dark Materials, which I don't know. I mean, looked okay. I guess it was based on a book series. The only thing I remember from watching the little preview was there's a polar bear in armor. So I don't know.
Yeah, that one was weird because it's a new HBO show, I think, and the whole like premise is like children are getting stolen and taken to the north. Like, wait a second, that plot sounds familiar.
I've heard this. This is old hat. I guess the other big thing is Terminator. That was the other. Yeah. There was a Terminator movie.
I know Ed Furlong's going to come back and play his part, which I'm not sure how that'll be because he's kind of off his rocker too, I think. But we'll see.
I don't know. I'm not really like, oh my god, new Terminator. Yee! So. Oh, I don't know. For me, it wasn't worth mentioning. I'm not huge on Terminator, but you know what, Sean? This isn't about me. This is about all of us.
Yeah, I'll probably go see it. I think, one of the last ones. It was okay, but that's one of those, like, I haven't been to a movie in 2 weeks. There's not one on in a week. I'm going to go see it, I guess. But, Richard, we got some knocking on the door. They're telling us Hall LOB is about ready to close down. So what do you have for some Richard's closing thoughts?
We started this show off by saying, like, there was there was decent stuff, but not really a lot. But I mean, we're at almost $120. So I'd say there was actually a fair amount of stuff. So I guess maybe I should revise my previous statement and say that, 2019 wasn't bad. It's definitely not. I think that maybe studios or pop culture in general, we said everybody's taking a breather from Endgame. You know what? I think that might be kind of a good thing because I think that all of us, I think that if they would have put almost anything out, I think that maybe a lot of us would say, well, I mean, like, it was good, but like, it wasn't like Endgame good. Like, you didn't put out like Endgame kind of stuff.
Well, I think we're kind of coming to a bunch of unknowns now, too. So that's probably a lot of it. So, like, what's Black Widow going to be?
Yeah.
What's all this other stuff going to be?
So I feel like the end of 2019, the first half of 2020 is going to be kind of this gear up. We've finished the Infinity Saga. On the Marvel side, we finished Game of Thrones. We've finished, there was something else that I can't think of. There was another big thing that ended. recent, or in the last few months. I don't know. But I feel like this is going to be our time to kind of, kind of collect ourselves and say, okay, now we're ready for what's next. One thing I will mention, Sean, no Star Wars news. I was very disappointed. The only thing that I got to see on the Star Wars front was they showed off some new StormTrooper armor that is bright red. That's all I got. I got a shiny red StormTrooper. So
is Disney's big thing coming up in a week or two?
Yeah, they got their D23 Expo. I feel like that's where I'm going to see something. But that's not for like another 2-3 weeks. I need it now. Sean. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Let's all take our collective sigh and get ready for everything that's coming down the road.
All right. Well, as they're picking up the chairs, I'll do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website. We're at languageofbroans.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbroans.com. Like us on Facebook. And if you want some LOB merchandise, go to TeePublic and look up Pod Bros Network. You'll find a bunch of our cool t-shirts. And also, if you want to, if you're like, I got enough t-shirts, but you still want to help out, check out our Patreon account. I want to throw a big thank you out to Chris, who has just joined back on.
We love you so much, Chris. You're the bestest.
And one of the other best places on the internet is the Pod Bros Network.
The podcast network that always sponsors us in this hall. They're the ones that pay for this. We don't pay for this.
Sponsor.
That's right.
All right. Was there anything else before I close her out?
No. We've done enough here already.
All right. Well, that's all the bros for this show. I'm Sean.
And I'm Richard.
And remember, don't be a why.
Be a why not.
And why not? If you want to, what if?
Be a what if.
Yeah. What if we?
Oh my God.